Hi everyone, this is a screencast for Unit 2, Lesson 3. I will go ahead and let you kind of read the outcome for this lesson. Basically, students are going to be focusing on 21st century skills, what they are, and how they can develop them for themselves. So the lesson starts off with a quick write where you have students think about this question: what is different about the workplace today than workplaces 50 years ago? And that's supposed to activate some thought and get them thinking about how they may need to develop skills that perhaps their grandparents did not have to develop, or perhaps their grandparents had to develop different skills than what they will likely need when they go out into the workforce. So you'll have a short little discussion about that. Next, you're going to have students do some predictions. They're going to use a chart that looks like this. So it looks like this in their workbook. What is important to know about this is that the directions say that they are to predict what percentage experts say that they need this particular skill. There is a bit of a typo in this, and so what I would have you do instead of using these percentages is just have students look at this chart and rank which one they think that experts say is the most important, second most important, third, etc. So give them some time to make some predictions using that chart. After you've done that, you're going to give them a short, very short little lecture about some 21st century skills. So you can use the information on the slides and also make some personal connections about how you've used these types of skills in your own life, or maybe someone that you know who has used them. So you'll just quickly go through each of these skills and why I had you direct them to rank it instead of use those percentages is, for example, you're going to get to the slide lifelong learning and self-direction, which is actually not reflected on this sheet anywhere, and so that could be a bit confusing for students. Also, diversity is not on there either. So once students do that, you're going to have students use a data set, which it's been a long time since they've done a data set. A data set is a collection of information and data from various sources related to a central topic. It's a really good opportunity for students to categorize information, to annotate for a specific purpose. You have done a data set in our September 18th PD training, and so I'm going to make some connections to that that will hopefully help you understand how to facilitate it. So you're going to direct students to open up to their workbook to the data set, which looks like this. It's about 3 pages. You're going to direct them to independently read that. It's important for you to tell them that all of these different pieces come from different sources, so it's not like it's an article written from the same author. They all come from different sources. So you're going to ask that they annotate using these guidelines. You're going to give them about 20 minutes to read this independently and use those annotations. Once students have done that, you're going to have them get into groups of 3, so you can get them into those groups however you choose. And then each person is going to share from the data set which one they felt was most interesting or most important. And so the connection that we did this exact same thing on September 18th. We looked at a data set about organic and inorganic foods, and we talked about, are they good for economy, are they better for you, etc. And so that is exactly what you did on September 18th as well. So once they talk about what stuck out to them the most, they'll need to name the number and summarize it and explain why. The next thing that you're going to have them do is to individually brainstorm how they might categorize everything on that data set. So they're going to just create a list of some different categories on their own. Next, they're going to share out in the group. And you need to designate one person to be the scribe. That person's going to write down what everyone says as their categories. And if they have any overlap or if anyone mentions the same, they should just put a check mark. And then together they should create about 8 to 10 different categories. They can have one category listed as unknown or unconnected. After that, you're going to pass out a piece of poster paper or a piece of butcher paper, but it does need to be large. And you're going to have students fold it. You'll probably want to model how to fold it. But they're going to fold their poster paper so that it has 8 to 10 boxes on it. And then they're going to label the categories. I would have them label in a pencil because these are not going to be finalized yet. Next, so when we did this on September 18th, we used technology, and so we had, you could either drag and drop them or you could color code them using your computer. We don't have the capabilities to do that, so you're going to have to print out a copy, one per group for each group. They're going to need to cut these apart so that they can easily move them around. You can either have your first period class do it and the other classes can put them in an envelope and use that, or you can pre-cut them if you have time to do that. That will help speed up the process. It's important if you have them cut it that you give a lot of guidelines so that it doesn't become a huge time suck. So you're going to have students, each person is going to take one strip of paper, they're going to summarize it to the group, and they are going to describe which category they think it should go into and why, and then the group is going to either agree or disagree. Once they have all of their strips categorized, and remember there's one category as unknown or unrelated, they're going to do a form of a gallery walk. And so I tried to make this diagram to help you visualize what it's going to look like. You're ultimately going to have probably way more than 5 groups, but this is just going to give you a start. So the circles represent a group of desks, probably where the group started off, and you're going to have students keep their poster flat on the paper because it won't be taped or anything yet. You're going to select one person from their group of 3 to stay with their poster, and that person's going to be the spokesperson. The other 2 are going to rotate around the room. You're going to want to do this in a very structured way, so probably giving them 4 minutes at each station. So the other 2 students are going to walk to the next station and they're going to listen to the spokesperson explain how their group decided to categorize the information. They'll rotate 3 or 4 times. They do not need to go to all of the groups, just 3 or 4, and then they'll return back to their group and have a discussion and think about if they need to switch any of their groups or recategorize anything. After that is complete, you will want to hand out some tape or some glue, and students can, write over this in marker or pen to make it more bold and tape down their pieces of information. They should also on their paper write a summary or an enduring message about 21st century skills, and you're going to have each student stand up, show their poster, and then read their group's enduring message to the class about 21st century skills. After that's complete, you're going to have students take out this paper, which is the 2-column graphic organizer for developing 21st century skills. So what they need to do is pick 4 21st century skills and place them right here on this side, and then determine ways to develop the skills. So if they selected leadership, they could put join junior ROTC, or they could become the captain of the soccer team, whatever they decide to do. And then at the bottom, and this is individual, so each person's going to have different ideas. And then down here, which skill do you most want to work on developing this year, and how are you going to do that? So that's kind of the individual output for that. And then to close out the lesson, you're going to go back to the word splash. So you'll want to have that up on the board, or just have them simply turn to it in their packets. So you're going to return to the word splash and tell students to select one word from this word splash, and to write about how that word connects to a 21st century skill. And you can have that as an exit ticket or a door slap, something for them to turn in. So that is lesson 2.3. It is a bit complicated. You will need to think about how you're going to get the poster paper, scissors, glue. Again, as always, if you have any questions, just let me know. Thank you.